Hi, Stitchers!
Hi, I'm Laura.
And I'm Keisha, and we're the Pattern Queens. And today is Sunday, June the 25th. And this is Stitch With Us episode 35. I'm all over the place, and this is a channel about cross stitch.
And friendship and silliness and rambles and shenanigans, and sometimes about not remembering what goes in the opening.
I sit here, we do this every week, and yeah.
But that's okay, right?
So I said that today is Sunday, June the 25th, but you'll be seeing this on Sunday, July the 2nd. So we're pre-filming, so if it looks like we didn't change our clothes from our last video, we didn't. We didn't. We've been wearing these clothes all week.
Strawberry Fields forever. It says it.
Mine is a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt. So do you want to show them what we're working on for the Stitch With Us before we get into it?
Sure. Let me find my cover page. So I am working on Knee High by Hands On Design. Wow, it's bright in here today. And I am filling in the blue part of the flag. The white's already in. You probably can't see it with the bright light.
And then I am working on Castle Homecoming from the Frosted Pumpkin. Clue 2 just came out, but I'm still on Clue 1. This is where I left it on our last Stitch With Us. So
what do you have left to do on Clue 1?
So we have the knight here. She has a plume on her helm, and I have to finish her scores. And she has to have eyeballs. Right now she has no face and is a little bit creepy. And then there is some bunting behind here. And some magic swirls and the ground here, which we found out in Clue 2 is part of just like a little bridge.
Oh,
so I still have a few hundred stitches left in Clue 1, but I'm almost done with it. I'm gonna try to keep up with this, but I'm already.
Well, maybe you will have time at camp to sit down and get some dedicated stitch time.
There we go. That's what I'll do. Last year at camp, I finished something. This year at camp, I'll just try to catch up on some sals.
And you could maybe have a Mill Hill finish during camp, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have a million Mill Hills. I could do that. So I know we just talked about this as we just filmed something. But what's new with you, Laura?
Well, if you watched our video from the last time, I have new glasses, but that's not what I have on today because these are the small ones that I wear so that I can look under and do my reading or stitching. And when you are seeing this, tomorrow will be my birthday.
Yes.
So July 3rd is my birthday. I love my birthday. It's the most fabulous thing. And during that week, Katie and I will be going to the new theater to see Dreamgirls, which I'm really excited about. And it will be a fun evening. The new theater is a local dinner theater. So we'll have wonderful dinner and a great show. And Katie and I really like it. Her birthday is July 8th, so we're not very far apart, and she thought it would be a fun way for us to celebrate our two birthdays together.
Yes, that will be so much fun. I love that place. We've only been one time, and it was quite a while ago. I definitely want to go back and see another show.
It's really a lot of fun. We'll have to tell you when we're planning to go to something else, and maybe you can go along too.
I'll go see dinner in the show. Oh, but that'll make my husband terribly jealous because he also loves a dinner in the show. I'll have to find a sitter.
I was going to ask you, so do you know how many stitches were in part 1?
I would have to look at my spreadsheet and calculate it up. I mean, it's quite a few.
I heard that part 2 was pretty big.
Part 2 is pretty big, but it's a lot of like bricks. Okay. So it's not gonna be hard stitching. It's just gonna be a little bit.
Maybe not quite as much confetti as this and more.
Right. Well, the thing about Frosted Pumpkin is there isn't a lot of confetti in general, but it's gonna be like, some, just rectangular blocks. So I've done so far on it this month, I've done 609 stitches, and it came out last month. And I did 403. So this is about 1,000 stitches, and I'd say that there are probably somewhere between 250 and 500 more on things. So.
That's really interesting. It's always interesting to me to see how many stitches are in different parts of things.
From my experience with their sales, it's usually 1,500 ish is a sweet spot. Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Okay. One side of this zigzag across is 25 stitches. So I counted it yesterday because I had put in all of the red except the one dark strip along here. And that was more than 700 stitches just in the zigzags.
Wow.
And I had done some of the white, and so I was up over 1,000 stitches on it. It's crazy to me that there are that many stitches in that area.
Right.
So
it's one of those things. I mean, just you think about how slowly a project can go sometimes, and you feel like you've just been working and working and working, and you're not seeing a lot of progress. But whenever you figure out how many stitches there are, you're like, oh, okay, well, I really did do something.
I was working.
I was working. It doesn't look like it, but I did a couple hundred stitches when I sat down. It's interesting, since I started counting, just how much it is, and how much you can get done in a little bit of time, and how many stitches actually go into these things, even small things. Even the ornament sized mill hills are usually about 1,000 stitches. So it's
well, and we know from the Fun Every Day that it looks like, oh, it's just those cute little tags.
Right.
And they are what, 2,800 stitches, 2,800 and a few. Katie's always asking me how many stitches and how I'm doing on that.
Yeah, it's really an interesting thing. I know that not everyone is into counting stitches, and sometimes that makes a hobby stressful. So I can get why some people don't really want to know the stats of what they're doing. But if you look at what other people are doing and the stitch counts they have, then you can really kind of appreciate, the work that you've done.
Our friend Jennifer was telling us how many stitches she's done this year already. And it's crazy amazing. And I had been saying that just in the model stitching that I've done this year for the black needle, I've done over 40,000 stitches.
Right.
And I know that because they're all in Pattern Keeper. So that helps a lot too. But that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of stitches.
Yes.
And I hit that because I just finished Santa's stamp collection, and that was 15,643 stitches.
Right,
so
but you've also had, the Gilmore Girls one, the Stars Hollow one is over 9,000 stitches, right? And Frogwarts is no slouch either. So.
Right, it was over 12 this year, so it was big.
Yes, Katie Lee just likes to design big things.
She likes those.
Yes. I would get a drink, but now I'm absorbed. Not a whole lot new has happened with me the past little bit. It's just kind of same old. But we've learned that my itty bitty baby boy no longer likes the baby swings. He likes the big boy swings. And he hasn't figured out how to use the swings just yet by himself, so he needs to be pushed. But Timothy and I keep taking him different places and pushing him on the swing, and we just keep Timothy's my husband, for those of you who don't know, and we keep sending each other pictures that are like, how is he big enough for these swings? See, he turns 3 in July.
We like July.
All of your kids' birthdays are in July. my one kid's birthday is in July. Got a lot of July birthdays around here.
Well, no, you're not. You guys are not crabby.
Well,
We're all crabby.
James is crabby. I'm not crabby. I'm a proud lion.
Which is funny, you are not a Gryffindor.
No, not
Yes, Bree is
Bree
like the
right at the
tail end of it, of being a Cancer.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where she fell, just a bit, because I know what signs we are, but I don't really follow any of that stuff.
That's not a me thing either, but I kind of like the little crabs in different things. Especially I stitched a couple of years ago the Satsuma Street horoscope piece.
Oh, so beautiful.
Those are so gorgeous. If you would like to maybe stitch something fun with your horoscope on it, go look at those patterns. She did hers on black. I did mine on a navy blue, and I loved it. Just loved it. I've thought about, so Taurus is really adorable in her series. Well, my parents were both Taurus. My mom's birthday was April 24th, and my dad's was May 15th. So my mother was at the very beginning of it, and my father was at the very end of it. So it's kind of fun that they both are that. But also, you could get away with stitching the Taurus and calling him Ferdinand, and he would be Ferdinand the Bull. He is adorable.
He's
absolutely.
Really
I don't remember what your Leo looks like.
It's cute, but it's not my favorite of them. I really do like the crab that you did, and now I have a crab, so maybe I need to do that. And then Timothy is a Gemini, so I'd have to look at
the twins. I think that one is cute, but it's girls.
So I have to look at that. And then let's see, my parents are a Virgo and a Scorpio, so I have to go look.
I wonder if the Scorpio is pretty.
I bet it is. I just can't remember it. I know I've looked at that series several times, but
if I think about it, I will look it up and I will put a picture right here.
There we go.
Of the whole series, because we keep talking about it, but they're just so pretty. And Jody from Satsuma Street has such a great use of bright colors and just things that make you happy. I know when I stitched that, I stitched it at school, and my students would come in and see that one, and they just were enthralled. They just loved it. So fun.
For sure. Yeah, I'll have to take a look, because I really liked the crab that you did. I think it was really fun. But I have a few Satsuma Street things in my stash that I really need to work on.
I have a bunny. Imagine that.
Yes.
I can't think what it's called. It's a
spring
spring.
Or is it? Yeah. I
think that's what
it was that or spring hair. So it came out at the same time as the I can't remember it. The goose. I bought the goose.
And the goose is really cute too. But I need to pull out the spring hair, because that's one that I really love.
Yeah, I've bought a few different of the perforated pattern kits that she has.
Like the fun Halloween ones?
Yeah, I have the Till Death, which I've started, but I haven't finished. I also bought a Santa one whenever we went to Heart's Desire. So I need to pull those out. I did the I think it's called Halloween Nutcracker. I've done that one.
Oh, her Christmassy ones, right?
Well, but she had a Nutcracker that was Halloween.
Okay.
Did you? I think you guys may have bought that one for me.
We might have.
So, because I think you bought that for me whenever I was on my floss tube maternity.
Okay.
They would just show up at my house to see the boy, and they would bring an offering. So.
Rules for buying cross stitch for Keisha. Does it make you laugh? Will it make her laugh? She will love it.
Yes. Did you buy me something? I'll love it. It doesn't matter.
Is it a Mill Hill? She will most likely really love it.
Yes. Did you buy me a kit so I don't have to go searching through stuff whenever I have a newborn kid?
That was something that we paid attention to when we were buying new things, especially since. Do you want to tell the story about your mom?
Okay, and I still need to go through all of this stuff because I just haven't gotten around to pulling it all out. I pulled out some of the more important things, but my mom came to my house right before my son was born. And she wasn't able to come to the hospital because we were in COVID times and I could only bring one person to be in the delivery room with me.
And she has a lot of nervous energy.
My mom has enough nervous energy to power a small country. And my mom likes to rearrange furniture. She likes to clean. This is a wonderful thing to have for someone who's coming to spend time at your house. She would tell the story about how when she was younger, she rearranged her bedroom and her dad came home at night and went to give her a kiss goodnight and kissed a lamp instead of her. So my mom has always been this way. So I had cross stitch just kind of in the corner of our living room, all of the stuff kind of together. And my mom, not being a stitcher, just put it all in a great big box and didn't make sure that things were paired up or anything. Because that was before I was getting more project bags. So I had a system, but it was a system that only made sense to me. And so my mom just put it in a big box. And so now that big box is down in the box. So I need to go through all of that big box. But anyway, so whenever I newly had James, I didn't know where a lot of my things were. So I remember the first thing I stitched after he was born, you guys bought me the Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue.
Oh,
and
yes.
There was a pattern in there. I can't remember the designer now, but it had a big 31 October, and it was on the model was stitched on a neutral piece of linen, and it was just in 310. And I'm like, well, I know that I could scrounge up a skein of 310. And I think it was actually from Heart's Desire, one of the scrap packs that we had gotten. I had a piece of neutral linen in it. I knew exactly where these were because I think I put them in the office. And so I went and I grabbed those, and that was my width that I worked on while James was sleeping on me. And then you guys bought me some Mill Hill kits so that I had just a whole bunch of kits I could work on. Yeah.
Summer is our favorite time to go visit shops because I have discretionary time. And we can go during the week, and that's really kind of nice to be able to just take off and go during the week and have a shop all to ourselves.
Oh yeah, because you're going on a weekday.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really nice.
We are hoping that we'll get to take Keisha to Color and Cotton during the month of July.
Yes, that would be fun. And we'll try to remember to, actually film at the shop and not just at the truck stops we go to along the way.
But you kind of hit the door of new shops and go,
bye.
Color and Cotton feels very much like a boutique shop to me. It's just so cute. But I didn't look at all the extra stuff she had because I just kept drifting back up to the wall of threads and the fabrics that were laid out.
Yeah. That's I haven't been to as many shops as you've been to. But
excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I've found it interesting to go to shops where the owner of the shop is the dyer of things. Because even though it's fun to look at charts, I mean, it's always fun to look at all of the assorted things that are in a cross stitch shop. It's really cool to see how they display the things that they make. And so whenever we went to Be Stitch Me, just to bins and bins and bins and bins of fabric, and look at this great big wall of every color you could want of silk floss. It's cool when you go to a place where the maker runs it.
It was really fun to be at Color and Cotton because I took I took my Sweet Wing Studio piece that I'm starting on July 3rd for my birthday. And I wanted to kit it up there. And she carries the overdyed, the three main overdyes. So she carries Sampler Threads, Weeks Dye Works, and Classic Colorworks. And so I pulled out the called for colors and then was able to go to her wall and choose things. And it was really interesting because some things that the pattern calls for don't look like that when you pull that color now. And it could be a difference in the time that the dye lots are produced. It could be photography. It could be a lot of things. But I chose a piece of fabric that I loved and then just matched up colors for myself. I kind of knew, like I needed a dark and a light blue. So I pulled two that I really liked that looked nice with my fabric. And I needed two reds. Well, I chose two that same thing. The values would kind of work with what they were on the other in the other flosses. And it was just fun. And I would have just used like a DMC 3865, but it was the most amazing thing to stand there. And she had a range of white that you could do. She also had a range of what I would call like winter white, like 3865 that you could choose. And I ended up choosing one of those to do my project.
Well, and I feel like that's one of the I like going to an LNS by myself every once in a while just because I can just sit and look and just kind of focus on what I'm getting. But it's really fun to go with friends because you can be like, does this make sense? Is this something? And it's fun going with Katie Landis because she has great color sense because Katie is like an artist. And so it's nice to go with her because she can tell you what you're picking out like just doesn't make sense. And if it just seems like a good idea in the moment, but it's not going to look good. So that's really fun. And then you also have your friends who are like, what if I do a Death Star on sparkly purple fabric? And they're like, do it. Because would Laura Landis say no to a sparkly purple fabric? Never in her life. No.
And that was fabulous at Stitch Me. Yes.
Oh, I'm excited to start that one. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it, but I'm excited.
It looks like we will be back at Stitch Me probably on Katie's birthday on July 8th. So that will be fun too. Brandy had these really cute floss tags, acrylic floss tags, and Katie has a pack laying on the table that I can see. I bought a pack that are all purple. Well, I need more because I just got Touching the Autumn Sky from Mirabilia, which is my unicorn. But it uses a ton of floss and I need more floss tags than what came in one pack. Katie's cute little pack is like odds and ends of different colors. Well, I am going to make sure that when we go, I pick up multiples. And also, Keisha and I each bought the grime guards, which this is an 8-inch hoop. What size are you using?
I'm using a 10.
Okay. So this is an 8-inch hoop. And this was the smaller grime guard of the two that I picked up. But you can see it's way in. I mean, my frame is clear out here. So we need to get, either I need to get clips like Keisha and hold them back, or I need to get a smaller one. And I bought a bigger hoop that this works beautifully with. So I will be doing that, but I may get a couple more things like this when we are there.
That'll be exciting. Oh, and so I'm not going anywhere to purchase anything at this time, but I mentioned a few videos back that my office had been doing this walking challenge which by the way, the last week was over and I did walk over 10,500 steps each day that week. It took almost all of the free time I had after work. So I have been trying to, I set a personal goal for myself of 8,000 steps a day. I've been getting up early on weekdays, not on weekends. But on weekdays, I've been getting up early and I've been walking, and then I walk when I get home. And since the end of that challenge, it's been like a week. I have walked 8,000 stitches or 8,000 stitches a day. I wish I could do 8,000 stitches a day.
That
I
would
have
be
to have like
awesome.
two or three full days of like no one bothering me. But so I've been walking 8,000 steps a day, and I made a kind of a pact with my husband that once I walked the step equivalent of the total stitches in Gamer Nuevo from Medusa Dollmaker, that I could kit it up. And my husband is very encouraging of all of the goals and stuff like that. So, and I started counting them from the 5th of June. So Gamer Nuevo has 193,936 stitches in it. And as of yesterday, I'd walked 191,460 steps.
Wow.
Since the 5th of June. So I only have
today.
Yeah, a little less than 2,500 steps left to do. So by the end of today, I will have hit that goal. And so I'll be able to kit that up. So I'm really excited. It's just DMC. I think I'm going to buy 28 count easy grid fabric to put it on. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but that was just kind of a big, just like personal fitness goal thing that I was trying to do. So I'm really excited that I've almost hit that.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just, I'm grateful for that challenge because I wasn't very physically fit. I mean, not even like accounting for body type or size. I would get tired more easily. And so I've just been trying to walk so that, I have an almost 3-year-old that I have to keep up with, and he's terribly difficult to keep up with at the best of times. So I'm just trying to do,
I do much better during the school year when I am forced to be up and moving around and walking.
Yes.
And obviously during the summer, I get a lot of sewing and stitching time and just kind of work on black needle things. So we are more sedentary, and I feel it definitely.
Yeah, it's because you just want to sit down and you want to do your hobby, and our hobby is not one that is I don't know that I could stand on a treadmill and cross stitch. Maybe you can, but I don't.
Maybe if you could mount it and you could do it two-handed, that would work. But
someone let me know if you have a Lowry stand set up that works with a treadmill. But yeah, so but what I found works for me. So I can't really leave the house whenever I have time to walk, because the time I have to walk is whenever my son is asleep and my husband's at work. So I've been just walking in place. That's what I've been doing.
And the purpose is not necessarily to walk great distances. It's to get your heart rate up and be really active. So it's great to be able to do that and to work it out.
Right.
So,
but anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys that I've almost
awesome.
hit that goal, and I'm very excited about it.
One of the fun things, so we did our book club yesterday, and our book was A Discovery of Witches. And our first question was, so this is a fantasy book. Our first question was, would you rather be a witch, a vampire, or a demon, and why? First of all, let me tell you that the demons in the book are mainly creative. And how would you describe them?
I'd say that they're creative, but they have a lot of like mental challenges. Like, a lot of them seemed like maybe ADHD or prone to depressive episodes, things like that. So brilliant, but with some drawbacks. which a lot of people, I mean, me included, I have a lot of anxiety and depression and things like that. And so I felt that it was nice to kind of be represented in that way. That
It was interesting to listen to people, but the people who chose vampire mostly chose vampires so that they could get through their stash. And we cracked up about they don't sleep in this series. They don't have to sleep. And yeah, and living forever to get through your cross stitch stash was a big positive thing. So that cracked me up more than a little.
It was funny to me because there were 3 choices, and so I was in here with Laura and Katie, and we all 3 of us picked a different one. So
and there were a lot of people who thought they would like to be a hybrid. So it was interesting, and just the thought behind why you would choose one over another was really fun.
Yes, yes. I picked the demon one because of just the brilliance and the creativity. And there was a character in the book who I was like, well, that sounds like me, and he was a demon. So
we've also been talking a little bit about planning because Keisha is a big planner.
Yes.
And she's rubbed off on me some. So I start thinking about things way ahead so that Keisha can help me refine them. But I have a plan that I think is going to work for next year. And I don't know if I'm really going to need much of any kind of tweaks for it.
No, I think your plan is pretty solid.
So it's not my full-fledged stitching plan, but it is for a 25/7 challenge for myself. I originally started 25/7 when Julie from Reflections, is it Reflections Needlework and Framing, started a group, and I used it to great success to finish some projects. And her idea was that you did 25 stitches or 25 minutes a day to work on and finish a project. And sorry, trying to get through this. And I enjoyed that, and I used it for that purpose, and I did finish several projects. And then I kind of got a little bogged down, and because of that, I've been kind of paying attention to the people who are doing 25/7 with, I believe it's with Melanie Watson. She has a Facebook group, and a lot of them are doing a 25/7 each month.
Oh, gotcha.
So they basically choose a focus project for the month. And I'm thinking that I will adapt that. And then I thought, well, how am I going to choose which of my whips? Because I have a lot of whips.
Right.
I am down quite a few. I am currently at 147 whips. So that's pretty awesome for me. But what I'm planning to do is mine are all listed on a spreadsheet, and I've already made myself a tiny decisions wheel. So I will spin that, and it will tell me which category I'll be choosing from. Then I will go to my spreadsheet and look at the number range for that category and plug those parameters into a random number generator and spin, and whatever it comes up with, that's the project that I will work on. So this morning I was just playing with it, and I every time I spun, it came up with a BAP. And so I spun for a BAP, and yeah, I was looking at my list, and I'm like, well, I like everything on here that's a BAP.
Yeah.
So it's a good list, and it would be fun to focus 25 minutes a day on one of those projects and get it finished.
For sure. I think that's a great idea. And I know that you like time-bound goals that are smaller. And I think that will really help with the focus, because even when you get to the end of the month and maybe you don't especially want to work on it anymore, you only have a couple more days. So I think that will work out really well for you.
I also have a few projects on my whip list that aren't counting as current whips. They're kind of placeholders. Like I have frogworts on there, and I have Stars Hollow on there.
Just ones you're going to be working on.
Yes. So if I happen to spend one of those during a time when, I mean, that would be a focus project anyway, but during a time when that isn't a viable project, if I spend something that isn't a current whip, I'm going to have a new start.
Nice.
A bonus new start. So I need to get a bag ready of things that I could possibly just pull out and start and have fun.
Bonuses.
And I don't anticipate that happening very often.
Right.
But I thought that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that's so you always have the opportunity of a new start. That's kind of fun. I really enjoyed 25/7 when I was doing it. And I would generally with that, I started a project and just kept going until it was done.
You even did the how many days does a mill hill take if you only do
right. Yeah, no. So I found that an ornament mill hill will take you about a month if you're doing 25/7, and a larger one will take you 3 to 4 months.
And you were doing about 25 stitches unless you were almost to the end of a section.
Yeah, I was kind of finishing sections, and there were a few days in there where I remember, I think it was for frogworts. I did one of the mill hill I was working on because it worked, and so I just
for a prompt.
So there were some days where they got more, but just kind of on average. And I thought that was a fun way to get through some of my mill hill stash. So maybe that's something I'll do. Maybe I'll do 25/7 with my mill hills next year. So
you could spin. You could spin by categories.
On ornament size or a big guy. So that could be fun. I'm currently doing. I've missed ever starting one. I'm doing a mill hill. If you watched our last video, I'm doing a mill hill that's just beads. I've never done a just beads mill hill before, so that's been kind of interesting.
That seems really odd to me that you wouldn't have.
I know. Well, and whenever I picked up, there was a collection of bugs. I didn't get the bee. I think I just got the ladybug and the dragonfly, and they had some flowers that came out as part of that collection too. It was last year's spring collection. I just picked them up because I thought they were cute, and I thought that James would like them. I was like, oh, I'll just stitch these for James. That would be fun. And he could just kind of have them, and I could make them into little paper toys sort of thing. And because he's very careful with cross stitch. He's learned from an early age that you are careful with the cross stitch, and you use a wipe on your hands before you touch the cross stitch, and he's being trained.
So what I liked is that you sent us a video, and it was about a model, so we can't talk a whole lot about it, but he was giggling hysterically.
Oh, so the model is in Pattern Keeper, and he has gotten to where he likes to mess with my pattern. He calls it messing with my pattern. So if I'm I have the pattern for this on my phone, he'll take and he'll just move the pattern all around. So then I'll look at it and I'll go, where did my pattern go? And he'll just giggle. And so I was working on the model. And so with Pattern Keeper, if you don't use it, there's this little magnifying glass that you tap on, and then you tap on the symbol that you want to do, and it will highlight all of that symbol. Well, I was working on a symbol, but there was one symbol that was a coffee cup. And he kept saying that he wanted me to stitch on the coffee. So I would touch the symbol that I needed, and then he'd touch it, and he goes, no, you stitch on the coffee. And then he would just giggle because he was messing with my pattern. So he's being trained, but he's not a very good stitching assistant sometimes. But anyway, so I bought the those kits thinking that they would just be fun. And then I opened it up and I was like, oh, these are just beads. Just beads. Which is fine. I just had never done any, I'd never done one before. And so they've been kind of sitting for a while. And yesterday I asked James what one he wanted me to do, and I just pulled out a bunch of my ornament size ones. Oh, like I think I had 4 of them. And I said, which one do you want me to work on? And he picked that little dragonfly because of course you would. It was very cute. And so I'm like, well, this one's just beads. But we've had a great time. He's been helping me sort out the beads by color, and he's been my little assistant on it. We've been pretending that the beads are pirate treasure, and they have a whole game about it now. So
I want you to teach him the word booty. It's pirate's booty.
It's pirate's booty. No, it's our treasure. And every time we see pirates, he goes, "Ooh, naughty pirates." So I told him, "Are we nice pirates?" And he goes, "No, we are naughty pirates." So I'm doing everything I can to make him think that cross stitching is fun, because it is fun. I just want a little buddy. Just want a little buddy to work on things with. So
It took me a long time to get Katie going in cross stitch, and then she took a big hiatus. And, you know, now she's back with full force,
right, designing, stitching,
running a company, doing the whole thing.
you know, so just about as cross stitch as you can get.
I just love it.
It's fun. I'm hoping, because you've told stories about how you would take Katie to events and things. So that's kind of like my hope for James, is that he'll want to stitch, and like, you know, I could take him as a little buddy for a couple hours at a retreat, you know. But we'll see. My mother-in-law stitches, and my sister-in-law doesn't stitch as much anymore, but she had a company where she was selling cross-stitched items, and so she was really into it for a bit. And she tried to teach my husband, and my husband did not like it, so he does not stitch. So I'm kind of hoping, like, maybe my boy will want to stitch with me. I don't know.
I was watching Floss Tube the other day, and I was watching Acctgforstitches, and that's Kevin and Erica Ricky. And I pointed at the screen and I said, honey, look, if you stitched, you could stitch with Kevin. He's fun.
Right, Kevin is very fun.
So yeah, I don't think that got Jeff interested in stitching again.
I always ask Timothy if he wants to like stitch with me. He doesn't really have any interest in it, which is fine. It's okay that we have our own things when we are separate. But I'm working on that boy. I've already got him to where he saw a picture of something once and he goes, "I want to stitch that." I'm like, okay, all right, this is the first steps. But what he's been doing lately is he will take my orts, and I've been cutting them a little bit longer lately. And he'll take the orts and he'll go over and he'll arrange them on the table, and he'll go, "This is my cross stitch." And I'll go, "What are you cross stitching today, James?" "I'm cross stitching a piggy." He loves the pig that I stitch on. I'm gonna have to pull it back out because he likes to see it. He goes, "I'm stitching on my piggy." And so then he'll like move the floss around in just like a shape, and then he'll go, "Mom, do you like my piggy? Isn't it so beautiful?" And I'll go, "Yes, it's beautiful." So then he'll go, "Can I have some more floss?" Like, okay, here you go.
And he did get his own stash of floss.
He did, so he's got it made. But yeah, no, he just recently he's been wanting to take just my orts and go and make himself a little picture on the table, which has been fun. So I did have some questions today if you want to answer. We've been kind of just making our own conversation, so I can give you just like
okay, a couple of these.
Couple of them. They're birthday questions because this is coming out the day before your birthday. So What is the most memorable birthday you've had?
Whoa. Well, I'm having a big birthday this year, so that's a lot of birthdays to remember through. Do you have a most memorable birthday? Well, I think.
Probably, I have a couple. One from like early is on my 13th birthday was the first day that I ever went on an airplane. My
Oh, fun.
family flew to Atlanta to visit my aunt and uncle who live in a suburb there. And so that was the first time I ever went on a plane. And that was just so exciting. We went on a plane. Uh, my aunt and uncle met us at the airport. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. It was the first time I ever went to the Cheesecake Factory. And I got pasta with shrimp in it and felt very, very fancy. And got Snickers cheesecake because I was told I could have whatever cheesecake I wanted. And that's what I picked. So, and then we went to the ESPN zone, which was right next door. I don't even know if they have ESPN zones anymore, but it was next door to the Cheesecake Factory. We went in there, and then we saw a person we thought was Cuba Gooding Jr. while we were in there, and it turns out it was. And then, and then went back to my aunt and uncle's house. So that is probably my like most memorable like kid birthday. And then the birthday, I don't remember a whole lot about my birthday the year that James was born. I know that my in-laws were there. So my parents had rotated out and my in-laws had rotated in because James was only a couple weeks old. It was the day that he lost his little umbilical cord thing. So those are two memorable birthdays for me.
I feel like my birthday, because it's in the summer, and you may experience this too, that my birthday has just always been filled with lots of fun family stuff. And my birthday is especially hard to maybe separate because my birthday is July 3rd.
Right.
And a lot of times we have lots of events going on that center around the 4th of July. And so like different areas will have fireworks displays and things for multiple days. The local amusement park does fireworks like I want to say they used to do it every Friday in the month of July, and then a big display on the 4th. But I do know that in most of my jobs, I've never been able to take my birthday off because it falls the day before a holiday.
Yes.
And you can't take off the day before a holiday. So that's kind of funny. But I've gotten some pretty awesome things for birthdays. And this year, my big birthday present from Katie, I already know. I mean, Katie has no more birthday to give me because we've planned everything. So, we're doing the Dream Girls at the new theater. But the big thing is that she bought us spots at Stitch North for next April. And we are going to be, I don't know whether she says weekend 1 or weekend A, but we're going to be at the first weekend in April for Stitch North up in Canada.
So exciting.
So that will be a big, big, exciting thing. But the biggest thing I think about my birthday is that I'm a person who loves my birthday. Yeah, and I just enjoy it. And so whatever happens, happens. And I'm not a real, let's investigate and figure out what my gifts are at any time. And really, for my birthday, I don't care if you bring me gifts. I just like my birthday. Right. We spent last year online stitching with the black needle because that's when people started their I want to say that's when people started their frog warts. And that was fun. So
that's really cool. One of the questions on here is how are you going to spend your birthday? And you've already told us, but my husband has this great idea because so my birthday is the 31st of July, which is right before retreat. And so before Can't Black Needle. And so I'm kind of thinking about taking that entire week off for my birthday, just because I was taking time off at the end of the week, and then I was maybe going to take my birthday off. But my husband has decided that we need to go through and we need to find all of the places that will give you free things on your birthday. Because it's my birthday's on Monday. James will be in daycare, and we can just go around to all of the places that will give you free things on your birthday and just have all of the free birthday things. That's what Timothy has decided we're going to do.
I don't think I know about this list.
Well, because I know that I've gotten, and you have to like sign up for people's email lists and things. I know that I've gotten a free ice cream from Cold Stone on my birthday before. I got a free candy bar at a break time gas station because of my birthday once. So there are a lot of places that will give you free or discounted, or like a buy one get one sort of thing on your birthday. So we're going to investigate and we're going to figure this all out. We're going to go and just go to a bunch of places and get things.
I told Katie that she should tell Bree that I would like to go to Whiskers Cat Cafe for my birthday. And they're not open on my birthday, so it would have to be a different date. But I just think it would be fun. So there's a local place that has a cat cafe, and you can go in, get a cup of coffee, you pay for your spot, you're there for an hour, and you get to see all of the kitties. And what they're trying to do is they partner with the Casey Pet Project, and it's all of the cats that they're trying to find homes for. Katie says that she cannot go with me or we will come home with another cat. But I would love to do my part and help socialize the kitties.
Yes, that would be fun.
That would be probably a perfect way for me to enjoy my birthday.
Yes.
I don't know what we will really do for my birthday, so.
I don't know. I'm sure you'll come up with something good.
We usually do things around my birthday, and my birthday's also on a Monday.
And then, and this kind of dovetails into it. The last question I'll ask you is, if you had an unlimited amount of money, how would you spend your birthday?
I would be on a cruise.
See,
I didn't even have to think.
Where would you cruise to?
I'm not real picky. If I had an unlimited amount of money, I would probably be doing like a cruise I would love to go see Greece.
Ooh.
And that one I think is usually like Greece and Italy, and
like a European river cruise sort of thing.
Well, either that or even like the big boats do.
Oh, gotcha.
A cruise that can go kind of up in there. So I think it would just be so exciting to do that. And I'd love to be on a cruise on my birthday.
Okay.
I forgot to buy a Powerball ticket yesterday.
I didn't get one either. See, what I want to say is I would go to Disney World, because I would love to go back to Disney World. And I'd like to take my boy to Disney World too, but so that it would be our combined, if we had unlimited money, we're just taking a combined trip to Disney World for our birthdays. But that means Florida in July, and that doesn't sound great.
Well, you could do, Alaska then.
Okay, there we go. We'll go to Alaska. But since I have an unlimited amount of money, I will buy tickets to go to Disney World later.
Or you can go, like right down to Disneyland, because at least you'd be.
It's true. I haven't been to Disneyland. There we go. Thanks for helping me plan my. But I would.
And while you're there and going down the coast, then you could go to Acorns and Threads.
That's true. Well, maybe you know what? Maybe I will go to Disney World, and we'll go to Universal too, and I'll just take you guys too. How's that sound? I have unlimited money, so I'll just take all of my friends. I'll take all you guys too. I have unlimited.
That would be awesome.
So
I told the group yesterday that if we ever win the Powerball, we were planning a Black Needle cruise, and we would accept applications for scholarships, and we would just pay for everybody to go.
That's great. That's great. We putting scholarships in for the littlest member of the Black Needle team.
It would just be fun to be able to go.
Yeah,
So
I'd like to go on another cruise. I like going on cruises too.
we had someone who popped up and said, one of my family members does that kind of planning and they could help you set up a Black Needle cruise, and we'd love it if you did a Black Needle cruise. So
I mean, count the Guthries and
yeah.
we would go on Black Needle cruise. Timothy would learn how to cross stitch just to go on Black Needle because he likes cruises more than I do.
That's probably my ideal way to vacation. I love it.
I really like it too. I even like the days where you're just at sea and you're enjoying the ships.
Mm-hmm. We try and make sure that we have a room with a balcony so that we can just sit out on our own balcony and stitch and read and whatever else and just kind of relax and enjoy the time.
We are the ones who find the library on the ship, and we sit on the comfiest couches right next to the windows, and Timothy reads a book and I take my stitching in my headphones, and we just go and enjoy time sitting in the library where, you know, it's not loud and we can kind of enjoy everything. That's what we do on our big exciting. We do go on the excursions and we do the other things on the ship, but if you're looking for us most of the time, you can find us in the library with a drink in our hand and either a book or my cross stitches.
Fun. One of the things that I remember from my birthday as a child is that my favorite cake is angel food. Now I'm gluten-free, so I don't get this anymore.
Right.
But my birthday always had homemade angel food cake that my mom would do, and
That's so nice.
And I didn't like strawberries, the actual strawberries as a kid.
Yeah.
But I like the strawberry sauce.
Gotcha.
So she would put that over the cake and I would have, yeah.
That sounds delicious.
That was fabulous.
See,
we had a garden, so we would have corn on the cob and cucumbers and new potatoes and, you know, all the fabulous things that come, green beans, everything that comes from a garden.
Great summer dinner. See, my grandma had this rule that you could pick whatever you wanted for your birthday dinner. So my grandpa's birthday was on the 7th of July, and we always had, you knew that she was going to have to break the fryer out because my grandpa would want fried zucchini, and then he also loved fried shrimp. So we just have a fried dinner for my grandpa's birthday. And then, and he'd wash that all down with a Pepsi. That was my grandpa's special dinner. And then I always asked for tenderloin, which my grandma she would crush up saltine crackers and bread with saltine crackers.
Oh, fun.
How she did her tenderloin. And then she would make homemade potato salad for me. And then my favorite kind of cake is a pineapple upside down cake.
Ooh, I like that too.
And so she would make me a pineapple upside down cake.
Too fun. Jeff found a recipe the other day for fish and chips, and you know, we have to have creative coatings.
Right.
Well, I guess this one came in our meal plan, but they had him use potato chips.
Oh, interesting.
It was really good too. So
I've heard of that, but I've never had that.
it was a good choice.
No, my grandma was bred just about everything with saltine crackers. And you'd know whenever she was doing something like that because it was my grandpa's job to crush up the saltine crackers. So he'd just be sitting at his spot at the table. He'd have a meat tenderizer. It'd just be
pounding away, huh?
Are you about at a spot where you can show what you've gotten done?
I am pretty close. I think I have about 7 stitches left to go here. And I will have all but one little spot on my flag filled in.
That's so exciting.
Which is what I was hoping, that I would just get this done today, this part. I really would like to finish this, you know, the saying on it is knee high by the 4th of July. And so I kind of had set myself a goal to finish it this year. It's been a whip for way too long. Well, no, it's only been a whip since last year. I started it in 22, but I've had it in my stash since it came out. And I figured since the date was on here that I might as well finish by that date.
Well, and I feel like most of your patriotic pieces don't languish too long in your whip pile. You just kind of you get in the mode where you're like, finish it, finish this patriotic piece by my birthday. I want to finish it by my birthday.
I do like to stitch in the I like to stitch Americana things during July a lot. I know a lot of people do Christmas in July, and it's my birthday month, so no, I celebrate that instead.
Yeah, I like to stitch in the season. People like to stitch ahead because so you have things done for the season. I like to stitch in the season.
So all but the very center. So that's what I did is I filled in all that blue, and I just had, there's a center diamond there. It looks like a square probably to you, but the corners are already done in white. So it'll be the opposite of it finishes off the 2 stars. So that's where I am.
And then I'll show you mine. So I finished all of the gold on the knights, so the plume on the helm, and there's a belt and some in the sword handle, and then I did the peach in the sword handle too. So she's almost done. I just need to give her a face and do some back stitching on her, and then I will be done with the knight. So getting close to being finished with this. Oh, I also have to give my unicorn an eye. The unicorn's also faceless. It's pretty jarring whenever you look at the herald that is fully finished and the other side that just don't have faces. So, I'll give them a face today, I promise. So
yeah, and I'm almost at the end of this piece of floss, so I'm sure I will sit here when we're done and finish it off.
So, well, do you think we've rambled enough for one video?
Probably, and we've talked about a lot of shenanigans we've been up to.
For sure. So all that's left to say is bye.
Bye.
Have a good week.